Okay, it's Christmas decorating day at the Jackson house. I probably even told some of you just days ago that I'm not going to decorate until after Thanksgiving. Well, I lied, I guess, because here we are. But it's a moment that we have at home, and we've got the energy today, so we're doing it. What I wanted to talk to you about, and I've been talking to you about it if you've been watching the videos, is garlands and how easy they are and how flat they can be if you add nothing to them. And I'm about to step away. I've just hung our garland. I've just pulled it out of the box, made sure the lights were working. I've just hung it, and this is what it looks like out of the box, and it looks like a disaster. And I bet yours do too. You know, lights stringing out. It's not shaped. This is a pretty garland. It's a thick garland, so that helps. And there's nothing wrong with it if I put the lights in there right. I mean, it could suffice, but you're going to see a transformation as we continue to add to this today. The first thing I'm going to show you is I keep 2 screws in the back of my mantle all the time. They don't show, but I'm going to let Paula, my camera lady, get over there. You see I've got a screw back there and it just hangs out there. And then I've added chenille, pipe cleaners as some call them, and I've made a little loop. Because I don't want to put screws on the front of my mantle nor the bottom of the mantle. And if I just lay this on the mantle, it's going to come off because it's going to get too weighty, too heavy. So we just put that loop on that hook and it's that easy. And those loops stay there on my garland, so every year I know exactly how to space it because I've worked it the first time. So the next thing is just, and I'll tell you, this garland was pre-lit years ago. Well, those lights have since gone out. They're still in there because I didn't want to take the time to cut them out. So I've just overlaid another set of lights. Thus, that's why they look like they do. So we're going to get those just work back in. The main thing is, you want to keep cords and the paper on the cords all hidden and covered. And I'll kind of halfway shape as I'm going through here. And I think even a key to putting lights is not just running a straight line of them, because then your lighting at night especially is going to look like a straight line, but just going in there randomly, tying them into themselves with this garland. And because I'm going to add so much, it's not important that I spend a lot of time shaping on this, but I do see flat areas. And at the moment, I'm just trying to get my light cords tucked away and covered. And it doesn't matter to me if I see lights a little thicker in one spot than I do another, because that's just that casualness that I personally like. It doesn't have to be perfect, and by the time it's all said and done, you won't notice that.
Well, it already looks better.
So, yeah, you know, a lot of times we think, okay, we've got a garland up, now we're done, you might add some bows. But what we're going to do is add, I've told y'all, one of my favorite greeneries to work with is a flat cedar. So this one is a spray, and I have 4 of these pieces. So the first one I'm going to do, now I'm not going to worry too much about this area here because I'm going to end up with bows on the corner. So we don't want to put things there that we're just going to hide with ribbon. But I do want to see it off the edge of this. So again, I'm taking the garland pieces to use as my ties to tie that in. So I think I've tied it in there now twice. All right, we're going to go to the other corner, do the same thing. Probably don't even need to tie it in there twice, but I am.
Because mechanics are important.
Yes. And I'm going to say this. We don't have small children. We don't have a cat that's going to jump around. And I'm being serious. If you do, then you need to take those things in consideration and either use unbreakable ornaments, or if you're afraid for the safety of children or animals that would jump on things, then you've got to really tie it in well and secure things well so that a little kid wouldn't get up here trying to pull on it and pull it down on himself. A child, not a kid. A kid is a goat.
There's our kid. This is the first Christmas we've decorated with him, and he is not sure about the mess or the funny things that are out. He's been barking at soldiers and Santas, and it's funny. Last year we didn't decorate because we were in the middle of a remodel. So. And
you'll see my cord mess on my TV. So I'll camouflage all that, but I had to pull all that away to get my cords plugged in for my lights. So we're not going to worry about that, but be assured that won't show. You see what's happening?
It's beautiful.
I've left a space here, but because it's here and it's here, it looks like a continuous flow of real cedar garland. And I'm not doing it the same direction. I'm coming to this side and angling to the center, if that makes sense to you. Okay, so there's our cedar added.
Wow.
And next, I have these picks that have some gold pine cones, and because we take our mantle gold and a little dressy, this is helping us take it in that direction. So I'm just gonna, again, because I don't have children or anything to worry about, I'm not worried about wiring these in. I'm just picking them in, and my main concern is that I want the ends of this pick obviously to be hidden.
We need a little holiday music.
I know it.
We had Elton John playing all morning, but.
And I've had these picks several years. See, that just fell apart. So, because I don't have wire cutters handy, I'm just gonna fold that, I'm gonna hide it. I'm sort of putting these in that area of the original garland where the cedar did not go. So that's gonna fill in that spot. We like things to have dimension, so let it come away from the garland as much as it will. Again, this might be the last year for this little pine cone pick. But you know what? That's reality in all of our homes. Although I have a store, I don't bring new stuff home every year. I use my things that we love and enjoy until it's time to replace them. So I don't get new stuff every year. Okay, I'm gonna add this one right here.
Okay, this is the first year we've had this garland with this fire screen, and I am loving it.
Yeah, we've had a dark one, haven't we? And you know what, after Christmas, we're gonna be ready to get all this put away and cleaned up. And I'm gonna take my big plastic tub that this was stored in, and I'm gonna just take the ends off, set it down in that tub and put the lid on it. And next year when I pull it out, I'll take it out and reshape it again. If you're fortunate to have a big storage area or a storage closet where you could put nails in the wall and just take it and hang it, that's perfect. I know that we sometimes just don't have the storage. We have an attic, and so we use that attic, but I do caution you, attics are super hot unless you're in these new home builds where they're insulating it really well. So if you've got an older home, you've got lots of heat. If it's 100 degrees outside in the summer, guess what it is in that attic? I mean, it's, I don't even know, it's 130 plus, I bet you. And if I'm exaggerating a little bit, not much. But my point is, if you put things like this in the attic, because it's PVC, it's a petroleum-based product, it's plastic, if you will, that heat will melt or start to break down, disintegrate this kind of thing. So our trees, our garlands, our wreaths, if you don't have to put them in that hot attic, don't do it. All right, the next thing is I'm taking ornaments. I'm using non-breakable ones mostly. There was a couple of breakable ones in here, but Paula managed to already break one. And I'm just gonna hang them on the tips. I'm folding the tip up to hold that on. I don't particularly like to see the little string, so I try to kind of get that string up in there, hiding it with the greens of the garland. And then the other thing, that was sort of leaning. It's not a big deal, but to me, the overall finished product's a big deal about details. So the detail is pull that greenery away so that that ornament can free hang in its own space, not touching anything, and it'll hang straight.
That's a great tip.
I'm using assorted things here, so I'm not worried about being symmetrically balanced, but I just want it visually balanced. We leave these hooks on in the box, and some of them fall off and get lost and whatever. So that has one of those decorative hooks on it.
You know, for time's sake, we might go ahead to the ribbon, and then when you finish, I'll do some still shots of it with all the balls in there.
Okay.
If you have any more tips, maybe give them, and then we'll kind of...
Well, I am going to show you some of these small ones. I just took some chenille stem in there so that I can twist them on and off. You could use wire, but I'm using this versus a Christmas tree ornament hook because I'm wanting to take these smaller ones and tie them up in here and sort of do a cluster effect. And like this one, it's lost its little end, but there's a hole in it. So a lot of times you can take the corner of one of these pieces off the garland and hopefully stick that into that hole, and then you can still utilize it.
Looks great.
So you want to jump over to the ribbon. So these are bows that, again, they've been made for several years now, but it's a ribbon that we really like. It's wired, so it reshapes so beautifully. I just try to get a general shaping before I put it up there, and then we'll fuss with it a little bit more. So those are going to come over here on the corners. My hope is that it will look like it's kind of married with this garland and not up on top of it like a hat, if you will. So we just want to integrate it in there and pull a few pieces of garland around, and I want to see what we've just added, so we don't want to hide it with that tail. We'll go over here on the other side, shaping the other one real quick here, quickly. A lot of times you can take a steamer or a semi-warm iron and iron those ribbons out if you're real anal about wrinkled ribbon. I think the beauty of wired ribbon, though, is let it be a little bunchy, if you will, a little, I want to say messy, but
not perfect.
But not perfect. I've got some frayed edges on a little tail there, so I'm just turning that underneath so I don't see it.
How long have we had this particular garland? Like, did we have it in Florida?
Yeah, we've had it.
Had a long time.
A long
We've gotten our
time.
money's worth out of this.
So now what I've got are just some strips of ribbon. you know, a little over a yard long. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to pinch it. That's my origin of where we're going to install it. Okay, again, I'm taking the garland and twisting it around it to hold it in. Now, I'm not going to do that. A lot of people just sort of, again, they lay it on there and it looks like a hat. It's on top of it. We want it to integrate into. So we want it to have ins and outs or highs and lows where you see it and then it disappears and then it comes back out. See, I don't have to continually see that ribbon to know it's there, because for me it's just an accent. It's not the main focus of this garland. Another piece here, so I think I'm gonna put it right here on the end, and I'm gonna do the same on the other side, just to give us a little finished tail that would appear that it's coming from that bow up there. Since we did it once, we're going to do it one more time. And I'm not personally worried if one side's a little longer than the other. Because as we know, since life's not perfect, that means nothing else can be perfect, so why do we try so hard? If we try a little less, we come up with really an ending up of a prettier product, I think, when we don't try so hard to make it perfect, but let it just flow naturally. All right, so because I did some ribbon there, now I'm going to add my last piece here, this other side. Again, it's a tucking in and out. And then I would just continue to tie these ornaments in. Again, these little small ones, I'm just kind of clustering those right here in the center of the garland. But then my larger ones, I like for them to, what I call free hang, where they're just kind of out there as our features. Here's another hanging one. Look. We're glad they're not glass. And what I'm recognizing is, for me, if you were here up close, I've got a hole here that I'm seeing. So I'm going to concentrate on filling this hole with my ornaments. A lot of these don't have ends on them. Paul, you're standing back. Can you see where we're needing something? This guy doesn't have an end on it. So he gets to nestle up here because he's a little heavy to...
Well, I say we wrap this up and finish it, and then we'll show them a still shot of the finished product.
Well, we can certainly do that. There's not a lot left here to do, so we'll just be right back with the finished garland. And about 6 or 7 more balls. Did you cut us off?
No. I was wanting you to talk talk us out.
Well, I keep.
But you're not
Okay.
taking my hint.
Well, look, we're just nearly done. This is what I have left. I have this many left. And so I'm just laying those in there. I'm just cradling them in. And then, well, we will come back and we'll add our stockings. So those may fall out, but.
It's beautiful.
And then we use stocking holders, and I'm just going to put those up there, but I've got to deal with the cords and I forgot what I was saying. A lot of times if you don't have a stocking holder and you're not really putting things in your stocking, just again, use your greenery and just tie those stockings directly into the garland. So, with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you have a really happy Thanksgiving and hope you enjoy getting your Christmas out this year if that's what you do at your home. And whatever you do, enjoy it. And I hope to see you at STEM's on 82nd and Quaker in the Village Shopping Center. And we are there until 4 o'clock today, this being Saturday when we're filming this. So have a good weekend and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.